Hello Noddies. In our previous video, we learned how a simple current mirror works, how to design it, and how to scale currents using transistor sizing. But we also observed an important problem. The copied current was not perfectly constant. As the output voltage changed, the copied current changed slightly due to the channel length modulation. The copied current was not perfectly constant. As the output voltage changed, the copied currents changed slightly due to the channel length modulation. If you haven't watched that video yet, click the I button and watch it first because today's topic directly builds on that concept. So the question is, can we design a current mirror that gives much of a flatter response and significantly reduce the effect of the channel length modulation? The answer is yes. And that's exactly what the Cascode Current Mirror does. Let's quickly recall the limitation of a simple current mirror. Ideally, we expect the output current to become constant once the transistor enters the saturation region. However, in reality, the graph has a slight positive slope. The reason is channel length modulation. As the VDS changes, the drain current also changes. And also here, the VDS of the first transistor is not equal to the VDS of the second transistor. This mismatch introduces current error. The objective of the cascode current mirror is very simple. It forces the drain voltage of both the transistor to be nearly equal. In other words, the VDS of M1 is equal to VDS of M2, so that these terms can cancel out each other, which will greatly improve the current matching. Now let's look at the circuit. Compared to the simple current mirror, we have an added two extra transistor here, M3 and M4. These transistors act as a cascode device. Their job is not to generate current. Their job is to keep the drain voltage of M1 and M2 nearly equal. Because of this, both mirror transistors experience almost ideal operating conditions, and the scaling equation remains exactly the same, which means that we can still obtain the copy current to be equal or double or half the reference current simply by changing the transistor sizing. But now we can expect a much flatter output characteristics compared to the simple current mirror. Now let's try to design one. The first step is to design the reference branch. Here we will assume the VDD to be 1 volt and the W by L to be 2.4. Now let's try to simulate it in cadence and find the maximum current for the given VDD and W by L. Open your cadence, set the W as 240 nanometer for the length of 100 nanometer. Here I have set the VDD to be 1 volt. Now check and save, launch, ADL. Here choose your analysis as DC analysis. Click save DC operating point, click OK. Run your analysis. Result, print, DC operating point, click any one of the transistor. Here I am choosing the bottom transistor. Here I can see the maximum ID current to be 29.6 microamps for the given WL ratio and VDD. Here we can notice something interesting. For the simple current mirror, we obtain the maximum current of approximately 163 microamps. But now we obtain only 29 microamps. Now this may raise a question. Why is it like this? The answer is because we have stacked two transistors. Both transistors require voltage headroom to remain in saturation. We will discuss more about the voltage headroom in the further slides. As a result, the available voltage across each transistor decrease. This is the first major trade-off of the cascode current mirror. We gain accuracy, but we lose the voltage headroom. Next, we will choose the desired operating current. Here you can either fix your current or VGS. For this example, I am fixing the current to be 20 microamps and we will proceed with the mirror sizing. Just like the simple current mirror, current scaling is achieved through transistor dimension. If W by L of 3 is equal to W by L of 4, then I copy is equal to I reference. If we double the width of the output branch, then I copy is equal to twice the I reference. And if we half it, then we get the I copy to be half the I reference. The important thing here is that all these circuits are now copied with much higher accuracy. Now let's try to simulate it and verify it in cadence. So here you can see I have rearranged my circuit and I have fixed the current source to be 20 microamps. And here I have fixed the voltage source to be 1 volt. And the W by L ratio is kept same. So go to the ADL window, here go to your DC and here click sweep variable as component parameter, select your component as this voltage source and here click DC, click OK. Now go to this window, here give your start value as 0 and stop value as 1, click OK. Since you want to plot the current, choose this node to plot your current. Now run your simulation. From this we can see we got a much steeper response compared to our previous simple current mirror. And we got around 20 microamps which is equal to our reference current. Now let's try to double this current. Here I have double the W by L ratio of M2 and M4 transistor compared to the M1 and M3 transistor where the W by L ratio is 2.4 And here the W by L ratio of the output branch is 4.8, which is double the value. Now let's simulate this and verify whether we got double the times of our reference current. Check and save. Go to the same ADL window, run your simulation. So from this we can see we got around 37 microamps, which is near to 40 microamps. From this we can notice the current has doubled. You can try the third condition on your own. Just replace the W by L value as 1.2 on the output branch to observe the half the value of I reference in your I copy. So when we try to plot our output characteristics, we obtained a significantly flatter curve compared to the simple current mirror. Now let's look into the drawbacks of using the current mirror. Whenever we improve something in engineering, there is always a trade-off. The first drawback is area. A simple current mirror requires only 2 transistors, where a cascode current mirror requires 4. So naturally, silicon area increases and it takes a larger space. The second and more important drawback is the voltage at home. Let's understand this using an amplifier. So for a common source amplifier, ideally we want the output to swing from nearly VDD down to the transistor's overdrive region. With a simple current mirror load, the minimum output voltage is approximated to VD Here from this graph we can infer that we already lost the values from VDD to VD. However, in a cascode current mirror, two transistors are stacked. Therefore, the minimum voltage at room becomes approximately equal to 2 times of the VD. Here we can see there is a much gap between the VDD and 2 times of the VD. So this reduces the available output voltage swing. So by choosing the cascode current mirror, we are improving the current accuracy but sacrificing the voltage swing. Because of this reduced voltage swing, engineers developed improved version of the cascode current mirror. Some of the popular examples are high swing cascode current mirror and low power high swing cascode current mirror. These structures try to retain the accuracy of the cascode mirror while recovering some of the lost voltage at room. And that's exactly what we will explore in the upcoming videos. The major advantage of using the cascode current mirror is that it has a high output impedance. A high output impedance gives high gain because gain is directly proportional to the output impedance, and it also provides us the constant current. So that's all for today, Noddies. So in today's video we learned why simple current mirror are not perfect, how a cascode mirror improves matching, the trade-off between accuracy and the voltage at room. So we'll see you in another interesting video. Until then, keep learning, keep building and keep simulating.